Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
I think you're on mute.
Workday starting to sound the same?
I think you're on mute.
Find something that sounds better for your career on LinkedIn. With LinkedIn Job Collections, you can browse curated collections by relevant industries and benefits, like flex PTO or hybrid workplaces, so you can find the right job for you. Get started at linkedin.com/jobs. Finding where you fit. LinkedIn knows how.
Entering a realm between the hidden and forgotten, a slipstream caught between realities, a secret museum of the esoteric, the private library of shadows, all taking place in a world forged from mystery and caught between logic and myth. You are entering para-reality.
Hello and welcome to the mysterious world of para-reality, a reality where the unknown meets the unexplained and everything is a mystery. I'm Sandman, and I'm your host. Well, good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining me in the Secret Bunker for another episode of your favorite paranormal podcast, Para-Reality. Tonight, I've got not one, but two great guests on the podcast. I'm going to be talking to David Starr and Francesca Rose, co-authors of the book Your Higher Power, Accessing Your Divine Gifts. This transformative guide offers metaphysical techniques designed to align you with your spiritual gifts and help you become one with the divine within. David Starr is a leading voice in spiritual consciousness and energy mastery. His courses, like The Master's Journey and Spiritual Hygiene, have empowered many to unlock their potential. And Francesca Rose is a writer, spiritual mentor, and OmniSource consciousness teacher with over 15 years of experience guiding individuals towards self-love and inner enlightenment. Together, they invite us to explore the hidden treasures within ourselves, to harness our source energy, and to evolve collectively as a soul family. Their work emphasizes that our bodies are vessels capable of traversing the Omniverse through consciousness, uncovering the divine gifts that reside within. So join us as we delve into the insights and experiences that inspired your higher power and discover how to access the divine potential that lies within each of us. For more information, you can always visit their website at yourhigherpowerbook.com. So make sure you stay tuned for an enlightening conversation that bridges the gap between the known and the unknown. Of course, to learn more, you'll have to tune in, and find out. But first, as always, it is time to welcome some new followers of the podcast. I'd like to welcome Jasmine Lucia, Miva Nordstrom, and Natasha Redder. Thank you for the follow. As always, I always welcome new followers, and I'm so glad that the three of you have decided to follow Parareality. I've got a couple of thousand followers, not a lot compared to a lot of other places around, but I think that if you're listening to this podcast and you're not a regular follower, I think that you should do so. You should be sure to follow me regularly. I think that you'll find this podcast differs from others like it by offering a different point of view from the norm. I simply present the evidence to you and let you, the listener, make up your own mind, and I encourage you to do your own research. And if you don't follow me on the socials, you'll need to do that too. It's where you can keep up with all the latest goings on with Parareality, as well as get a look at my little bit of insight into my personal life and some things that I do. And I'll be giving you the deets on how you can do that later on in the podcast. And before I do anything else, I've got some big news to announce. I am glad to say that the Parareality podcast is going to be making its debut at the Tennessee Wildman and CryptidCon this August. I'm excited to be attending this event for the first time, and I can't wait to talk to the attendees and collect some of their stories to be featured here on the podcast. Now, I did this for the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Festival on May the 3rd. I did it last year at the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Festival. Got some great stories, and this is my first year at the Tennessee Wildman and CryptidCon. This is their third year doing it, so I'm kind of getting in on the ground floor a little bit here. I'm really excited to be able to go there and collect some stories from the attendees. The convention is Saturday, August 16th, 2025 at the Milner Recreation Center in McMinnville, Tennessee. This is going to be a full day of guest speakers and experiencers on many varied cryptid topics ranging from Bigfoot to Dogman to UFOs and more. And there'll also be an expansive vendor hall where you'll be able to find all of the Bigfoot and cryptid related merchandise for your wants and needs, as well as a food truck area with food trucks galore. There'll be all kinds of food trucks there. I'll have my table and equipment all set up at the event. So if you're going and you've had an unusual experience of any kind and want to get it out there, want to tell your story, stop by my booth, tell me your story, and get it on the podcast. To find out more about the event and to purchase tickets, you can check out their Facebook page. It's Tennessee Wildman and CryptidCon. That's on Facebook at Tennessee Wildman and CryptidCon. I cannot wait to see you guys there.
This episode is brought to you by Loom by Atlassian. Are you feeling stuck at work? Get your team unstuck with Loom video messaging and move work forward. Use Loom to simultaneously record both your screen and yourself to share a quick update, provide feedback, train a colleague, and everything in between. Plus, add Loom AI to your meetings for instant written notes and recordings. Try Loom today at Loom.com. That's LOOM.com.
Welcome back to another episode of Parareality, where we explore the hidden dimensions of our lives, from the mysterious to the mystical. Today's guests are David Starr and Francesca Rose, authors of the transformative new book, Your Higher Power, Accessing Your Divine Gifts. Now, this isn't just a book. It's like a guidebook. It's like an activation manual and a sacred call to align with your divine potential. We're going to talk about channeling, sacred space, shadow work, and what it really means to live as a conscious creator in the new earth. So let's get to it. David and Francesca, welcome to Parareality.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you both here. I've been looking forward to talking to you for a while, and I got a lot of questions. To start, I admittedly have not read the whole book. I've read part of it and skimmed through the rest, and it's very fascinating. And I've got a lot of questions that I want to ask, and I hope we're going to be able to fit them in here. So can you guys start off by sharing the moment or series of events that led you to write this book, Your Higher Power?
I'm going to start it off because really what has led it is myself and Francesca have known each other for about 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we started getting the most incredible downloads, as we call them, and guidance and guides coming in. And the things that are in the book is really a story of our own personal hero's journey, or a journey of completely inner transforming ourselves, letting go of old programming, coming into higher consciousness, letting go of things like worrying about the future, and trusting and aligning with the universe, and being supported in our manifestations, letting go of the way that we used to be in relationships and friendships, anything that was either toxic within ourselves or with other people, and healing it, releasing it, inner child healing, and these things that would cause us to hide in places in our heart, and becoming free and empowering this new consciousness as this whole framework of what it means to be this new human, this new higher consciousness in this awakening that's happening in this world. And so is all these things, and we were sharing, and we became great friends. And then eventually we were teaching programs and consciousness. It's just become our life, basically. And then one day, about just about a year ago to this day, Francesca channeled, and she's got this download, and she said, Francesca, if you want to do this part.
I was actually seeing us interact in the higher realms, and I was getting all these downloads, and I got the outline for the book. And I asked David if he would do the book with me, because he's like the best channeler on the planet. And we're so aligned with our belief systems. And he said yes, and it just divinely flowed perfectly.
Now, can you tell me a little bit about the backgrounds that the two of you have? Like you talk about channeling and all that. So tell me a little bit about that between the two of you.
You can go first, Francesca.
Well, ever since I was young, I was like super mystical. I remember like my youngest memory was me casting spells in the backyard. Like I really thought I was a magical being. And I was always obsessed with the other side, because I was really in tune at a young age with spirit guides. I remember talking and seeing my guardian angel. And one time my mother lost a diamond, and my guardian angel told me exactly where it was, and I found it.
Wow.
And yeah, it was fun. I had a fun childhood because I always had things going on within me, but I really couldn't explain it to anyone. And then when I was 12, I saw a ghost floating over my bed, and it went through the wall into my brother's room, and we screamed at the same time. So I knew I wasn't crazy.
Oh yeah, he saw it too.
Yeah, so that was my confirmation that there's so much more to this world than meets the eye. So I was just very open to it. And I had a lot of Catholic school conditioning, and I was just like in love with Jesus, and I wanted to be just like Jesus and a healer, but I also wanted to be like the psychics that they said were devil juice in the Bible. And so be careful what you seek, because it's seeking you. And I was always very psychic and an empath, in tune with everybody's feelings, and able to really like read into them what they needed to hear. And so that's like my journey started. I became an esthetician, and I was counseling people, and people would just come to see me. I became like very popular because they wanted their Fran time, and they came to see me for their spiritual advice. And then I started counseling people every day. I still do to this day, online. And I teach courses, and I'm a writer. I channel messages like every day for the collective, and I post them to Facebook and Instagram.
Quick question. Did any of your spells that you were casting in your backyard, did any of them ever work, do you know?
Well, I was probably just trying to do fun stuff. Like, make a pumpkin patch, and my mother, like, she made a pumpkin patch for me, so I believed I was magic because the whole yard got filled with like pumpkins, and it was just crazy. So yeah,
it might have worked. You never know.
Yeah, and I study a lot of manifestation, so magic is real. You can manifest anything into your reality. That. So I do that a lot. I studied manifestation for 20 years.
Yeah, I do believe that too. David, what about you?
Well, in short, I had a near-death experience at 10, cracked my head open, almost died, and then was brought to like a celestial realm, and remembered the first 20 years of my life when I was 10 years old. And so after this event, I was left with realizing that because I was shown the life, I chose it. So then I knew there's more than one life, and there's this mysterious universal star consciousness celestial that we're connected to. And then I went through constant deja vu from 10 to 20 because of this near-death experience. So I just knew what was going to happen. Almost all of these memories that I remember from this near-death experience. It was really strange. Always being in deja vu. At 17, I considered I had my first real awakening where guides, angels, galactics would come to me, and still do to this day. But that opened up the umbrella of to what is this reality, because it was really weird. But like, for give you one example, when I was 17, I had a holographic galactic being come down and show me how there are certain families and societies that are working to keep the human race sort of like hostage in their consciousness, basically. I saw the secret society. I saw all the faces. I knew their names, but I've kept it to myself. This is something that I actually don't share, even though I still know to this day a lot of these things, a lot of these people, because it doesn't matter. What matters is that I was shown that I was part of this liberation coming down to break people free of the consciousness. They've taken me up on ships, showing me people that I was going to meet. Across the planet, names again, so it's been a very process where I've been guided, but essentially it's Project Unity. And so the Project Unity is all these star seeds. It's very similar to what Dolores Cannon has shown, and these waves of people that have come to the planet, people like yourself, Francesca, myself, and the listeners here today are not just randomly here. They're some of the most powerful beings in the universe that have risked everything by coming even into the earth cycles to experience and to help liberate. But essentially what it comes down to is when collectively we can agree on like this love-based reality, and that we are ready for something different. We want a reality where everybody is supported. This whole concept of struggling and working 9 to 5 and just making ends meet, when we have so much abundance on this planet, this concept of poverty, homelessness, starvation, and even sickness is just it's kind of silly, and it's because of the majority of the resources on the planet currently are being held by about 25 people, which doesn't make any sense. So it's completely out of balance, right? Yeah. And so we are having to come together in Project Unity to break the constructs of media programming, which is fear-based, coming and aligning into our hearts and coming into heart consciousness, and into our God power, which then we are breaking through all of these constructs to come into freedom consciously. And so that's kind of like my role has been, and my guidance throughout all these years was in unity, empowerment. And then one day they just said, they gave me a dream, basically. It was a vision dream, and they showed me, you're going to become a channeler. And I think this was just in 2020. I haven't been channeling for crazy long.
So you're still kind of new to the game on that then. Kind of
new, but like crazy expanded into it. I channeled courses on ascension, consciousness expansion, because my relationship with the light is very unique. I can see them with my third eye. I can hear them. I can talk to them. I can bring things through. So the relationship and the knowledge that comes through is just unbelievable. So it's more like I'm a facilitator of consciousness more than a channeler, but I teach channeling in one of my courses. And so that's sort of where it's ended up. And so then eventually I channeled all of this amazing knowledge, and then I integrated it. I learned it through myself. Like I essentially locked myself into a room from about 2020 to 2021, and I channeled so much amazing information, and then I learned it, I integrated it, and that actually made me what I consider like from like if I was a level 1 healer, I went to a level 1000 through the knowledge that came through from the channeling.
Yeah.
And then I integrated it into my life and to my practices. And then I came up with all of these new courses with the knowledge that was channeled from these like light beings. And to give you in context, just one thing, and then I'll pass the torch on. But to give it in context, like, so I was channeling light beings, and so like this was a theory that there are people that are made of light. It was a theory because I had never seen the light beings. I've seen angels, I've seen galactics, but light beings started coming into my awareness, and these beings that they call themselves the Eternities, which oversee the light being collective, started coming to my awareness. And these would be like ascended masters and stuff of that nature. And so I'm channeling them throughout all these series. And then one day in May, and I'm sure it was 2022. I'm pretty sure it's either, I think it's May 8th, 2022. They ended up showing themselves into my reality, and they manifested. They're 9 feet tall. They look like humans, but white light, and they were sandals and robes and facial features, everything just like humans, completely visual in front of me. And so now this thing that went from like I am seeing with my third eye and I'm channeling through frequency and dimensions, all of a sudden becomes tangible and real, as not a theory anymore, because here they are right in front of me.
Yeah.
And they literally, I asked them, why are you here? Like I thought something big was going to happen. And they were just here to confirm. And this is all they stayed for like 1 minute. And all they said was, we're here to witness the global awakening. Okay. And what that meant was that the majority of the population on Earth had awoken inside at a level in their heart to some level of awareness of their soul, that they have a soul. And then what happens is they go through this guidance eventually and becoming interested in other paranormal subjects, like on your show, and extraterrestrials, and that there's more to this reality. So that's kind of gave birth to who I am today, and a lot of the stuff that was channeled and that me and Fran Cheech we wrote in Your Higher Power book.
Yeah, you came into a lot of stuff over a short period of time, sounds like.
Yeah.
It's almost overwhelming.
Like, it was so much, honestly, but it was also extremely necessary, because I had to put content together that can help people go from any level of their journey of awakening and any level of advancement through and come into all of these higher consciousness constructs. It's like we're having to completely rebirth what is reality and what is the reality we want as a collective, a consciousness, and how do we let go of all the other stuff that was really all of this programming from these small group of people that were wanting to control the narrative and the consciousness of this planet.
Now, you mentioned that small group of people was like 25 people, right?
Yeah, it's very small. It's really small.
Do you know who they are?
I know who most of them are, yeah.
But you're keeping all that to yourself.
I'm not looking at creating wars or anything of that nature. I'll probably just keep that to myself forever.
Okay.
Because what's the focus is on is the rest of the world, the planet, and us coming into our power to shift the reality by our hearts opening and releasing all the programming that these few families who have been also are not really human.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I would probably keep that on the down low myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me. So getting back to your book, you describe the global pandemic as a catalyst for spiritual awakening. What changes did the two of you witness in consciousness during that time?
So many more people woke up at that time because they really had the time to reflect on their lives and reflect on their families. And I feel like the paradigm shifted to a more spiritual realm because I think people were going inside to find God within them because nobody really knew what was happening. The media had hyped it up, and everybody was in a lot of fear at that time. And of course, what are you going to do when you're in fear? You're going to turn to your highest power, God within you. So I saw a lot of people going into the spirituality, doing meditation, seeking different healers, and, really just making us all more connected. You think that like on the internet that you're going to be less connected, but there was so much information shared about what was really occurring. And I think it brought us together as a collective source consciousness and brought us into more unity.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree with that. I think that at that point in time, so many people were scared and isolated that they were either consciously or unconsciously reaching out, for not only guidance, but some form of companionship. So I totally agree with what you're saying.
Definitely. Thank God for David. He was one of the people that got me through the pandemic, like that he did videos like every day. And I'm just like, we knew subconsciously what was occurring, but like we needed positive people to interact with, soul family.
Well, the thing is, like, almost 100% of the people and the real humans that are actually on the planet have just been taken control of, and it hasn't been fair. And when that happened at a level, so many people just knew that there's something that wasn't right about what was happening, and something just wasn't true as well. And there was this feeling of some kind of deception, but also a little bit of fear because of the footage that was being spread. And so it really, at a level of consciousness, that we were rejecting, almost like, no, this is not right. Doesn't feel right. And it doesn't feel right to be isolated. And I mean, not all the countries took to what the WHO did, and like Sweden was very free and open, and the seniors. But what it did, what didn't feel right outside of ourselves caused us to then go, well, what does feel right within ourselves? And then so we started asking a lot of these questions. So what is the truth and what is right? And a whole truth movement opened up. And then later, after like the whole thing has washed away, now we're seeing things that make a lot more sense with like problems with what had happened, and people who had taken things based on the fear, making decisions out of fear. It then now has become a problem medically for a lot of people as a result of this, and different investigations are being looked into now. So you can see right out in the open, there was some kind of a coercion with this small group of people. Why? And now there's these issues that are happening on the health perspective because of it. So it's like it's right out in front of our faces. But it did cause us, and it was the greatest thing because it did unite us, because all of those who knew, even at a level of not knowing and just intuitively, we just were guided to go within, and we formed together and we rose, and we're like, you know what? We're not buying into this anymore. We're not just going to be manipulated, controlled through media. We're going to come into our own power. And we've had enough of this agenda kind of things that have been going on for a long time. And we want a different reality. And so what is this different reality? Well, it's a reality where we can be supported financially. It's a reality where we are free to create in. It's a reality where we're not like enslaved, and we can express ourselves and not be censored like that was happening. Did you notice this weird censoring that was happening in that whole time? And now all of a sudden it's gone. Like that level of censorship would not have taken place in social media unless there was a small group of people who were controlling everything and were putting the pressure on, because that was completely taken away from the rights, people's rights of freedom of speech, and this fact checking thing that was going on, and everything was getting taken down. We've never seen that ever since this whole thing. It was only during that time because they didn't want the truth to come out, but the truth was coming out.
Did the 25, as I'm going to refer to them, did the 25 have anything to do, in your opinion, with the pandemic?
They have everything to do with everything that is planned to keep the consciousness suppressed. They just want everybody to be in fear, and they want to control this reality. And so the only way they can control the reality, because they understand how consciousness works. This group of people are the ones who have taken all of the ancient Atlantean knowledge that is locked up in the Vatican, that they're using for their own manifestations of keeping everybody in their control. And so it's like, of course, they were behind it 100%. They've been behind it all. They've been behind the resets. They've been behind the enslavement, because once we take back control of the consciousness, and we have to basically by volume of light, but once we take it back in our beliefs, in our hearts, then we free everything. You will be amazed what happens when we come into our collective consciousness power. It is unbelievable, but it's like our God power. Everything changes, everything shifts, and it's already starting to happen. But when we totally come into it as a collective, it's like peace on earth, heaven on earth. It's the best. People don't struggle, they don't starve to death. We come together in unity. We allocate the resources properly, so everybody is provided for it. There's not this struggling Monday 9 to 5 thing that happens. It's totally the most amazing paradise that we get to experience. It's just different. Everybody works towards things differently, more collectively, because when you assist the collective, you assist yourself. And so when you're assisting and it works into this unity, everybody wins. It's
how close. I'm sorry. How close are we to getting there? You kind of said that we're on our way, but how close are we?
Well, it's that's an amazing question. What I know is, in this year, from what the guys are telling me, is there's near 1 billion souls that are going to awaken, and what that's going to do is going to create, at some point before the end of this year, we're going to be coming into a new reality paradigm. And what it is, they call it the open heart system. Because of this level of people awakening, it creates an open heart reality where almost the whole entire planet has a soul level awareness. So this is the greatest year of the awakening yet, of all of these years that we've been in. And then so when so in the closed heart system, that's when fear and worry and all these. In the open heart system, the energy requirements are different, and so from a collective, then we are going to see just these amazing changes, just seem to these magical manifestations. But then it still is on us to unite and come together to eject out all of these old systems.
And this will be sometime this year, but we don't know exactly when.
Well, I think it's going to, like, things are just going to be changing dramatically, even the financial system, and eventually, like, but is it going to be this year? This is, like, it takes time. Yeah. Even though the open heart system and the energies are changing and demanding differently, we still need time for people to come into their own awareness and to be guided, because it takes takes a lot of us to completely start shifting our belief systems collectively for it, like a complete paradigm event, or like, it's like enough of the hearts and the frequency, we are ready. It's very possible, and a lot of people believe, that in a split second we hit this moment as a collective in our hearts, and because we're so tied together and connected, we are ready to receive what they call as like an ascension event. And so a lot of us do believe in a moment we just wake up in a totally new reality, because collectively we are ready for it. But when is that? Nobody knows.
Well, I wasn't trying to put you on the spot, and I apologize if that's what
I don't have a date. They don't give me like the date of the ascension or whatever, but they give me facts and things of awakening and updates and where we are as a collective and things like that. And I know we are at a point that we've never been before. Like, we are in one of the most best possible, like, so there's these new spectrums and of rays that have come into our reality, and so new colors will soon be visible to the human eye that we haven't seen on Earth, and that's going to be like the beginning signs that you're going to see of this ascension that's going to happen on the planet. Things like the frequencies of things that were hidden, like the fairies or the elves or the angels, are going to be more present. There's going to be more galactics connecting with people and having positive encounters, and so it will take a few years for sure. Yeah.
And you mentioned about us being, guided to these to this event happening, or guided through it. And I through your book, I noticed that one of the foundational practices is creating a sacred space. So why is this the first step before diving into spiritual gifts?
Creating sacred space is so important, because it's all about, making that perfect container for the highest dimensional construct energy to come through. Ultimately, we all want our highest power, our God energy, to come through, but that takes creating sacred space, and sacred space is a lifestyle. I mean, we do it before we do our rituals and everything, but I do sacred space every day, and to me, that is about not feeding myself with toxic things. And what I mean by that is, I'm vegan. Vegans, we vibrate really high because I'm only eating foods that come from the womb of Gaia. And I'm not a potato chip vegan. I'm an actual, like, raw vegan. Wow. I eat fruit, vegetable, and like hemp protein. That's it. But also, it's not just about what you are feeding yourself with that raises your vibration. It's setting energetic boundaries, not allowing toxic people into your vibrational field, because that's just going to lower you down into the lower dimensional constructs within yourself. So I send the people that are toxic love. I try to give them advice, but I will not inundate myself anymore with any toxicity. I don't watch the media. I know a little bit of what's going on because my clients will tell me, but like, I really, to a level, I want to focus on world peace and not focus on the negative things, because we feed into that paradigm. because we are eternal source creational beings, and what we pay attention to and feed our energy into is what appears into everybody's reality, because majority rules on earth. Whatever the collective believes is what is going to appear into reality. So I choose to focus on the love, on the peace. I see us already as ascended. I've seen it like fully ascended into our God self. I've seen it, I've felt it, and I know we're in the midst of it, and it's coming soon. So you have to prepare with your choices. Everything that you do, you have to be conscious that it's either going to raise your vibration and bring you into heaven and bring you onto the level of being able to communicate with your guides, to communicate with all these higher dimensional energies that are all within you. We have all energy in us. We have everything in us. And we think that AI is more advanced than us. No, the human brain is the most advanced technology in any universe. And we need to empower ourselves by making positive life choices and, focusing on the good.
And you outlined several gift activations in the book, from channeling to healing to dimensional jumping. How does someone know where to start?
Chapter 1.
The awakening journey. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing, because where does somebody start? The journey is within, of course, but a lot of people always look up to people like myself or Francesca or other people who are teaching consciousness, and ask these questions. And I like to send it back onto them, because my belief is that we are all God beings and we have all this within us. And so where is it within you that you want to start? And what are you being drawn more into? What are you being guided towards? And so, because everybody's journey is different, and so your heart literally resonates with truth bumps, and sometimes you get goosebumps as truth bumps when you hear things and listen to things. And naturally, we've put everything that we have learned into this book that we have felt. And there was one day I'm sitting in my basement, and I'm editing chapter 8 and putting in some of the things that I usually just teach in my courses. And all of a sudden, this massive archangel is on my left shoulder, and I'm seeing all of these angels. But at first I don't see this archangel. At first I'm seeing all of these angels flying in my basement, and as I'm typing, and at first I'm just seeing them in my peripherals, and I'm typing, and then there's so many, and I'm like, okay, I look up, and I'm seeing them flying around. And then eventually I just stop typing, because now it's becoming like, this is crazy what's happening. And then I look behind me, and there's huge archangel towering over my left shoulder. Wow. And I look up, and I'm like, what's going on? And you know what they say? You know what he said? We're just really excited that you're putting this in the book. And that's then cool. These angels shot through my screen to put this heaven frequency into the book, I guess, to activate people when they're reading it. And I'm just like, this is crazy that this just happened. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so it's like, so where to start? It's really like, there's so many amazing things, but go check if you want to check out this book, or go online and search wherever your heart is telling you. Whatever feels right in your heart is where you should start, no matter what. And just keep trusting your heart and build that relationship with your heart, because your heart, inside of your heart, you have your higher self, you have your angelic guides, all of your counsels, and they're and your soul is all connected and is beaming, and it wants to talk to you. So listening to your heart, you're actually listening to all that wants the best for you, right? And trusting in your heart. And when you developing that relationship with the heart is going to help everybody ascend and come into this new heart-based reality. So that start with heart awareness and listening and feeling and connecting into your heart and breathing into your heart, becoming aware of what your heart wants to tell you that you need in your life, or that you are guided to, or the interesting topics that you feel that you want to connect to in your consciousness as well. And so that's where to start for sure. But like, we've definitely put a really good framework of so much things that can help in the higher power book. But even if your heart is telling you something different, trust that first. Always trust your heart.
And your chapters on shadow work and inner child healing are they're incredibly vulnerable and powerful too. And so why is healing the past so critical to spiritual growth?
Because it raises your vibration. If you don't heal your wounding, you're never gonna embody your God version of yourself, your healed, organic version of you. Because if you don't forgive the things that have hurt you, it's going to be lingering in your vibrational field, and it's going to be lowering your vibration. But as you heal and forgive, you're doing it for yourself. You're not just doing it for the other people. It actually makes you feel better. And we're all one, and we're all just different versions of ourselves. So anytime you heal, you're actually healing everybody around you. You're healing the planet. And you just keep raising in vibration. And we have these subconscious beliefs that, we're not even aware of. And when you start getting into the shadow work and the inner child healing, you're actually pulling out like all this old like conditioning that does not serve your highest and greatest good. So it's pivotal.
And also in your book, you write about of grounding, not just as a spiritual act, but as a physical necessity when working with high vibrational energy. And I really loved the tree collective grounding technique. So can you briefly describe how it works and what benefits someone like myself might get from it?
Well, grounding is integrating. There are so many people that have vertigo issues during this ascension. Vertigo has come out of nowhere and it's hitting people. That's dizziness. When you have these random dizziness things, a lot of people take medication for them. It hit me extremely hard in 2020 when massive solar flare activity was happening. Massive ascension energies were coming in from the galactics. It hit me so hard that I would literally fall on the ground, or fall on my bed, fall to my knees with such overwhelming dizziness. And I just finally just looked up and I'm like, what? Because it was going on for a week. And it nailed me right to the ground. I'm flat on my stomach. And I look up and I'm like, what is this? And they said, you need to ground it. You need to ground it. And so grounding, we use the tree collective, but as well as all of these high energies that are coming in actually mostly sit at the crown chakra, and they're waiting to integrate with you. And so when you breathe them all through your chakras, you just intend to breathe them through your chakras and exhale them out your feet into the heart of Gaia, because Gaia is the grounding. And so you're breathing in the heavenly energies through the chakras, and then you're exhaling them out the feet into the heart of Gaia. That's grounding. And when you ground the higher frequencies, then it integrates. And so the night that I had it the worst, when I was flat on my stomach and I couldn't take it anymore, and it's never happened since that night. Ever since I started grounding it, they woke me up. My arms were up to the sides, and they kept repeating grounding, 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 integrated, complete. And then so they showed me how this integrates into our chakras, our energy centers. It grounds it, and then it integrates it. So while all these powerful energies were coming in, we were looking for many different ways to ground because it got so intense. We're going through these massive chakra upgrades and our hearts are expanding and accelerating. And we're like, ooh, this is really high energy. How do we ground? What do we like and stuff? And then we found connecting our heart to the source of trees and then just amplifying all these high heavenly energies across all trees, like the tree collective, and just bring it through all the trees into the roots of the trees, which then go as well into the heart of Gaia. And it helped us ground. And grounding is integrated because, and why that's important is because you don't want to stay up into these super high energies all the time. You want to be able to take this knowledge, this higher consciousness, and ground it back into your life, be integrated. So you still have this deep connection to your family, this deep connection to your life. If you just stay in the high energies, you might make decisions and cut away from things that really are your love and then regret them later. So you want to really make grounded decisions and bring the higher energies into your life, take all the knowledge, the guidance, but still be in love with your life, your family, and you're just, then you take what is all of this higher wisdom and you just bring it forward to be living this life of joy and happiness in a grounded way. You still have to support yourself and the family and live in this love and take the higher constructs, let go of the lower constructs in a grounded way so that you are balanced in your heart, in your life,
Makes
in
sense.
These energies. Yeah.
Yeah. Makes a lot of good sense. The idea of the Akashic records comes up often in spiritual circles, but you in your book go even deeper and you talk about something called the Starr Akashic records. So once again, kind of briefly, can you tell me what these are and how can someone begin accessing this?
We have all information inside of us, and we show in the book a step-by-step way, an easy way to access your Akashic records. And it's just all the information that has ever occurred in every universe, galaxy, dimension. And these Starr Akashic records are more speaking to the galactic origins, because actually people don't realize that highest heaven and the angels, there's actually the evolution is the galactics. The evolution of angels is the galactic energy. So it's all the evolution of God. And it's just going into those Akashic records or going into the evolution of God, basically. And we show you how to do it. And you can get this information inside of yourself. Me and David just have very evolved energy, but everybody is the same as us. You can do it. It's just a matter of going inward and finding God within.
Okay. I like that. So we're running out of time real quick. Like, I'm not going to get to all the questions that I wanted to ask you. But to kind of bring it down to earth a little, what are one or two simple daily practices that people can start, like after they hear this podcast? What one or two simple things that people can start today to raise their vibration and align with their higher power?
Well, the heart awareness, I'm always going to push everybody back into their heart. And so just breathe so one thing, you can breathe into your heart with one hand, and with the other hand, you can exhale that heart energy and just bring it into your auric field to bring you into peace, to bring you into centeredness and into heart awareness. And then simply just start asking your heart, what is out of balance in my life? What needs to come into balance? And build your awareness with your heart and feel and become aware of what your heart wants to bring into. And then this is your soul. This is your higher self. This is your angelic self communicating to you. So it's really important. Then you write these things down and you take some kind of commitment, because this is how you fall in love with yourself and your life. You start living it, what your heart is telling you.
And for someone who's feeling lost or disconnected, what's the first thing that they should do after hearing this episode?
Francesca, you want to do that?
I would say that the first thing to do is definitely love. You cannot go wrong. So what I did to like build my power is I send love every day to the planet and to everybody on the planet. And that love is sent back to me. So that's going to start filling your love reserves. Yeah. And another thing you can do is the grounding. I always say that's second to love. Just go outside, be in nature. If you're feeling like really depressed, like Gaia has everything for us that we could possibly need. Go into the sunshine, put your bare feet in the ground and ask Gaia to give you all your updated source code and just feel into that and feel all the updated source code going into you. And the number one thing to do is ask God for help. Like God's inside of you. So you have to ask for help. And you need to ask your friends and family for help too. Or find, follow your bliss, something that you're attracted to, find a group that does those type of things. Like I have a spiritual, full spiritual co-op that I volunteer at. And
nice.
It raises my vibration every time I'm around all these awesome beings of pure love. So you have to keep following that bliss, following the love.
Great. I like it. Now, my final two questions, this is for the both of you. Where can people find your book, your courses, or connect with your work online? Where can they contact you at?
We have a website. It's yourhigherpowerbook.com. So it's the book's name, yourhigherpowerbook.com. And we've put our emails if you want to reach out to us personally. Great. We've put our websites, and everything that we're doing on there. I mean, I've created also this amazing high vibrational social media called Divine Ray, and I got links where people can go so you can share, be part of a high consciousness social media, and all Francesca's information's there as well, and even where the book is and where you can get the book it's all on there.
So is your book available? Like I'm sure it's on Amazon, but is it available in physical bookstores like, Books A Million or Barnes and Noble or anything like that?
Don't believe it's because we went through Amazon and Ingram Spark, so it's in like a Barnes and Noble.
It's online on all of those, so like you can get the ebook and everything.
Okay,
so through all those sites.
Great, so we can just look for it on Amazon.com.
Yep,
and sure. Once again, the name of the book is Your Higher Power: Accessing Your Divine Gifts. Man, what an incredible conversation this was. We ran out of time. There's so many more things that I want to ask the two of you. I'd love to get you back on again so I can follow up with some of these things. Man, we talked about like from sacred space to soul retrieval and all kinds of stuff. And I hope that today's episode has lit a spark in whoever's listening to begin or even deepen your spiritual journey. And if you felt called to any part of this conversation, that's your higher self speaking. So you need to listen to it. And I want to give a special thanks to my guests, David Starr and Francesca Rose, for sharing your light with me and for my listeners. Like I said, links to their book can be, I'm going to put it on my website, and links to their websites will also be on my website when this episode posts. Once again, their book is called Your Higher Power: Accessing Your Divine Gifts. Thank you very much, David and Francesca, for being on Para Reality. I have so much enjoyed it. I'm definitely going to have to get the two of you back soon.
Awesome. Thanks. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Well, that about does it for tonight. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and thanks to David and Francesca for being guests on the Para Reality podcast. Before I close everything out, here are a couple of more things. Time to pay some more bills, get these pesky commercials out of the way.
This message is brought to you by Abercrombie Kids, where the activewear is made for every summer activity, so your mini-me can bring their personal best. Summer days are always an adventure, from day camp to rec leagues and pool days. Abercrombie Kids has the shorts, tees, and swim to keep them comfy and keep up with them. Get everything for the entire summer at Abercrombie Kids. Shop in-store, online, or in the app.
Okay, now that I've got that out of the way, unfortunately, I've got a little bit of bad news to tell you guys. For 20 years, I have used Skype to host my telephone number for this podcast, and I've had the number for 20 years. And unfortunately, Microsoft is, well, they're shutting Skype down, and I'm no longer going to be able to use Skype for the podcast. So I'm having to get a new number. I'm looking into several different things. Right now, I've got a temporary number. I don't want to not have a number for you guys to call in. So I do have a temporary number. It may wind up being the permanent one. I don't know. But yeah, Skype is gone and not coming back as of as of right now. So the 615-692-1170 number will not be available starting as of this podcast ever again. And I've got a new number. It's 615-492-4364. That's 615-492-4364. That is, at least for now, a temporary number. It may wind up being the permanent number. I don't know. I'm doing some investigating, trying to find some different ways of offering phone numbers. But yeah, this is going to be the number for right now, 615-492-4364. Make sure you check it out. I've got to, of course, redo a bunch of advertisements and stuff. I hate that, but whatever. It is what it is. So the new number to the Secret Bunker, 615-492-4364. That gets you right in here to the Secret Bunker. Once again, thank you to David Starr and Francesca Rose for being on the Parareality Podcast. To find out more about their book, you can visit their website, yourhigherpowerbook.com, and you can also find their books on Amazon.
This episode is brought to you by GM Genuine Parts and AC Delco. Get the most out of your vehicle with GM Genuine Parts and AC Delco original equipment. The only parts designed, engineered, tested, and backed by General Motors. You can find your perfect fit for most makes and models and choose from 3 tiers of parts, including GM OE or gold and silver aftermarket parts. Visit gmparts.com for more information.
And just one more thing before we close everything out. I just wanted to let you guys know that I have relaunched my official Patreon page. I'm going to try this again. I've been the first time I didn't have very much success at it because I really didn't know what I was doing and what Patreon was all about. Now I'm a little bit more informed and I'm a little bit better suited to do this. So I'm giving it one more shot for a little while. So I've relaunched my official Patreon page, and for as little as $1 a month, you can get commercial-free episodes and other bonus content. And for just a few bucks more, you'll have access to some of my companion podcasts, such as Midnight Syndicate and something that I'm calling A Deeper Dive, where it takes a look at a particular topic that I talked about and goes a little bit further into it. Plus, you'll also have the ability to, the opportunity to appear as a guest on the podcast. Subscribing to my Patreon not only helps support the podcast, but it also helps me continue to bring you quality content on a regular basis. To learn more or to join, just go to patreon.com/parareality. And if you guys are following me on any of the podcast platforms, especially Spotify, Apple or Amazon or whatever you're following me on, I would please appreciate it if you give me a 3-star or better rating. It really helps me grow the podcast and helps me just get the podcast into as many ears as what I possibly can. And that's one of my goals, is to have as many people listening to this podcast as possible. And I can't do that without your help. So if you just really want to support the podcast, but you can't afford to do it on Patreon, or you're not one of those people who join stuff, and I totally get it, then the cheapest, easiest way to do it and to do it for free is to just give me a 3-star or better review. I would really, really appreciate it. It means a lot to me, and I can't grow this podcast without your help. So thank you. I hope that you enjoyed tonight's episode of Parareality. Now, the next episode is not going to drop for a few weeks. That's going to be on Sunday, June 6, 2025. At 8 p.m. Central U.S. time. It's time for my mid-season break, and I need to recharge my batteries, take a little rest and relaxation. Got some plans with Mrs. Sandman. We're going to go off and do something, and I got to, catch up on some things with the podcast. It's just going to give me a time to just catch up on a lot of things and take a little bit of break. So don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. It's going to be a few weeks before you hear from me, but that's okay. It's my normal mid-season break. I'll be back on Friday, June 6, 2025 at 8 o'clock p.m. Central U.S. time with part 1 of my usual 3-part summer series. Now, I'm not going to tell you what it is. I want it to be a surprise, so you won't know until you tune in and find out on Friday, June 6, 2025 at 8 p.m. Central U.S. time. Everybody, I hope that this podcast opens up your mind to new ways of thinking, expands your consciousness, and produces a change in the way you see the world. If you wish to change, you must lift the veil of ignorance that has been cast over your eyes. Only then will you see the true power of the universe. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Hope you have a great several weeks, a great start to your summer. I will see you again on Friday, June 6th, 2025 at 8 p.m. Central Time. Good night, everybody.
If you wish to change, you must first lift the veil of ignorance that has been cast over your eyes. Only then will you see the true power of the universe.
Hey, it's not over. Thanks for sticking around. I got something to tell you. Do you want to be a member of the Secret Sanctum? Well, if you do, there's only one way to do that. Somewhere on parareality.com is a link hidden in my website. And if you can find that link and click on it, you'll be granted access to the secret bunker, and you'll become a member of the Secret Sanctum. It's 100% free. It's not going to cost you anything. And once you become a member, you'll have access to some secret audio files and secret documents, some of which are exclusive only to Parareality and the members of the Secret Sanctum. You'll also get a free Parareality Secret Sanctum t-shirt. Just fill out the form and let me know what size you are, where you're located in your name, and I'll get that right out to you. So if you want to be a member of the Parareality Secret Sanctum and have access to the secret bunker, find the link.